Welcome back. My name is Marilyn.
And my name's Chris. And I'm the author of The Simple Truth About God.
And I wrote the book Healing Through Love. And last time we were together, we talked about unconditional love for self. And today we want to expand on this because I want to explain to you that when you don't love yourself unconditionally, what you're doing is you're judging yourself. And judgment is a huge issue that we'd like to talk about.
At the very heart of this, or the very core of what Marilyn's talking about, is feeling that you're less than you should be.
Right.
And so you judge yourself as less. There's no one else out there judging you but you. And this is one of the hardest things to learn about because we think the judgment that we're perceiving in others of ourselves is coming from the other. But in truth, everything that you experience in your life comes out of your own heart. Everything, the love you experience, the judgment you experience, whatever it is. So the source of healing it is to heal your own heart.
Judgment is something we tend to not want to call ourselves. We don't want to be judgmental about others, but we're judgmental about ourselves all the time. We're judgmental about everything that's going on in the world. Whatever you criticize is a judgment. It's not an acceptance. So judgment and acceptance are opposites of the spectrum. And we need to understand how to release the judgment so that we can come to a place of acceptance. We started this whole series talking about self-love. What is that? That starts with self-acceptance.
So how do people judge one another? Like, how do they judge themselves, the ways you've seen that?
Well, we judge ourselves certainly by thinking we're too fat or too skinny or too old or too whatever it is, not smart enough. You know, we judge ourselves. I did this wrong, I'm stupid, I'm a terrible person. We do that. That's self-talk in a way that really diminishes your heart. And unless you learn self-talk in a way that makes you feel good, and we don't do that. We haven't even done that since childhood. Actually, as kids, we're like, I'm king of the mountain. But as adults, we never wave our own flags, and I think we should start doing that.
Yeah, I mean, waving your own flag that Marilyn's talking about is the choice of whether you celebrate yourself or you don't. I mean, it's one or the other. We either look at ourselves and we decide, you know, I am who I am. And I accept myself as I am. I mean, I'm here of whatever purpose I'm here for as I am, and that's who I am in this moment. And so I'm going to just, instead of judging that as not good enough, I'm going to celebrate that I am. I'm going to celebrate that I'm here. I'm going to celebrate how I am, how I think, how I talk. I mean, once you start changing from judgment to celebration, the same way you are with judgment, where you can just go on and on, judging yourself as less or comparing yourself to people and thinking you're not as good as they are, as beautiful as they are, as smart as they are. You can do the opposite, which is you can celebrate how you are, as you are, equally, the equal number of times.
There's a commercial series on TV that I love right now, and it's usually grandparents, older folks, who are talking about their kids, and their kids are either hiking in the mountains on vacation, or they bought a boat and they love this boat, and the grandmother sits there and she goes, I don't understand it. What joy is that? What fun is that? And it's so critical of the pure joy her children are experiencing with their choices. So it comes down to just accepting the differences between you and everyone else and just letting it be. Not saying that's a good choice or a bad choice. It's just a different choice. And that comes back to when you get up in the morning and look in that mirror, what choice are you going to make when you see that face staring back at you and that body standing there before you? Are you going to criticize it or are you going to accept it? And that is going to make a world of difference in your day.
Not only your day, but ultimately your life, because
Right.
It does change your heart. It's the difference between like having a child and constantly telling the child that something's wrong with them. They're not good enough in school. They're not good enough on the sports field. They're not, artistic enough. It's like constantly telling your child something's wrong with them. And after a while, they just feel so bad. So it's the same thing for your heart. Your heart, if you're judging it, literally feels bad. And in that, it feels pain. And from that, it manifests trauma and illness and lots of things. So you have the key to turn this around. And it's the difference between judgment and celebration.
Absolutely. So here's an exercise, actually, for you just to determine where you are on the spectrum of judgment and self-judgment. Walk around with a pad. Just take a day, whether it's today or tomorrow, and just take a pad with you, and every thought, it doesn't have to be spoken, but every thought or every spoken word that is critical of yourself or someone else, write it down and see how long that list is. That will help you determine where you are in the work that you need to do to stop judging yourself, your spouse, your coworker, your parent, your child. It doesn't matter. Just make a list without judging the list and just be in total acceptance. Oh my goodness, I just thought that she looked terrible. She shouldn't wear that shirt. Or I can't believe my husband didn't wash the dishes. What a slob. You know, whatever that thought is, just write it down. And then at the end of the day, look at that list. And then the work begins.
And the work is then, each day, that list gets shorter and shorter.
Exactly.
Because in the awareness
Right.
that you're making judgments, you can stop yourself.
Right.
And you can stop yourself and say, no, I'm going to change that. And instead of that, I'm going to celebrate, let's say, what your child's doing or what your husband chose to do or whatever it might be. And that will change the energy one day to the next, to the next, to the next.
As well as you go through that list and see all the criticisms that have been shared, you create a counterbalance. For if you had the thought that your husband was sloppy, put something good about him right next in the next column. If you had a thought about a coworker and the way they dressed, talk about something positive about that coworker and start creating a counterbalance of thought, and slowly those brain synapses that keep going one way are going to start going another way, and that also is another way to change that list around.
So thank you for joining us again. We would like to invite you to return to the Expanded Living channel on YouTube, where we will post these videos weekly. And if you want to email us, you can email us at center@expandedliving.net.
But it's not the Expanded Living channel. It's just when you get to YouTube, just search on Expanded Living and we'll come up. We don't come up on the channel. See you soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Bye.